The Atlantic recently wrote about how online dating has now led to online shaming. There are a number of websites and social media accounts that are created by women with the sole intent of shaming men that aren't treating them appropriately on these dating sites. Now, one of them is an Instagram account called By Felipe, or Philip. I think it's Felipe.
I think it's Felipe.
It's Felipe. And it's interesting because I follow one of these accounts. It's called Texts from Your Ex. But it's not really aimed at men or women. It's just your ex and all the crazy tweets that they send you after you break up. But there's like a market out there for it. And these social media sites do really well. And there's a lot of content that they can use. So how does this all work? Basically, if you're on OkCupid, Match.com, Tinder, any of these apps, and you come across someone who might talk to you in a very vulgar way that's totally disrespectful and unacceptable, well, you can send it in to one of these many websites or one of these many social media accounts, and they will post it. And the whole purpose of it is to shame these guys and make them feel really bad about what they're doing. But is it working? Now, Amanda Tweten has many negative experiences on dating sites. She says the following: "We can't win. If we don't respond to the men, they come back and say, quote, 'you're a whore.' If we do respond, we get yelled at and called names. I hate that men think they can talk to women like that. They should be publicly shamed." So let's stop right there. I don't know if I agree with the whole they should be publicly shamed thing. What do you guys think?
Aren't they already being publicly shamed? They're doing it in public, aren't they? Or is these private messages?
No, these are private messages on the dating sites.
That's like taking YouTube comments personally. It's just a random guy you don't know. Ignore it.
Yeah.
I don't. If you're gonna do these things online, you want to have online have the same kind of social norms and etiquette that you do in person. You don't have that. That's not gonna happen.
So here's what I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of transparency, right? Even if that transparency means that it's going to expose me to bad behavior. Okay, so if I'm on a dating site, which I was at one point, I did Tinder for a little while, right? And guys are assholes. They are. They say crazy things.
Guys are assholes.
But here's what I do. I do ignore it, and then I block the guy, and I never talk to him again.
Yes.
I mean, that's an easy way of handling it. No, I can get why people would be frustrated and upset because it happens on a regular basis, and at some point you're like, you want some sort of strike back. But I'm kind of against like public humiliation, public shaming, even if it's behavior like this. Like, these guys are trolls, they're being assholes. Move on with your life. Don't waste your time harping on it by creating social media accounts where you're exposing them. Unless they're sending you serious threats where you feel like they are an imminent threat to you. The Instagram account that I was talking to you about is called By Felipe, and it's Tweeten's crowdsourced menagerie of mankind's worst specimens. The name is a play on By Felicia, a meme used to signify that someone has left a party and they won't be missed. Since creating it Monday of last week, Tweten has received more than 24 submissions. One blogger recently ran an OkCupid experiment for which he set up 5 fake male and 5 fake female profiles. After a week, all of the women had received at least one message. The most attractive women had received hundreds. But several of the men remained uncontacted. This kind of rejection day after day can foment a kind of deep resentment among the male daters. So they're kind of giving the men's perspective on this, which is kind of, I don't know.
Men are lonely. They get rejected by women all the time. It's the oldest thing. Start a band, learn to play an instrument, become funny as a comedian, do something that can get you some women. Do you
guys understand? Actually, I don't know, Brian, but like, you're married, right? Do you understand how lucky you are that you don't have to deal with that bullshit?
I feel very lucky.
Right? That's really why I want to talk about this story. I want to complain. I don't want to publicly shame anyone, but I want to complain about online dating. It is the worst. It is the worst.
Well, you don't have to do it.
No, I know. But here's the thing.
But I mean, you're saying when you go into it with an open heart,
absolutely,
and you get just completely like bullied by assholes.
Bullied isn't the right word.
What is it?
You get bombarded with just craziness. It's more like I was shocked at the lack of quality out there, I guess, right? So you see profiles that say crazy things like, hey, I have a girlfriend and she doesn't know this, but I'm looking for a good time. Like, you come across a lot of shit like that, right? Or when you finally do start talking to someone, it's like, hey, I'm 40 years old and I don't have a car or a job, but I really want a girlfriend. And it's like you go through one really bad apple after another, and that's not even including all the people that are like straight out abusive in their language, right?
Did you do it? Did you?
Yeah.
Did you have one good experience?
I had a few okay experiences.
Okay, but nothing great.
That's what's okay. That's why I call it
'Cause I
okay
don't know
Cupid.
any-
So it's okay.
It's so just okay.
Yeah.
Just okay, Cupid.
Just okay
And then
Cupid.
shortened it to
Yeah,
okay,
just
Cupid.
okay Cupid. So, now you were shocked, but you imagine how shocked I was when I found out Grindr didn't help me find a good sub sandwich. I was like, this is not the meat I was looking for.
Oh,
Talk about, I can find a cock sandwich like that anywhere.